Hey, what's up? This is Devin from Sanguisugabogg, and you're listening to The Dan Chan Show.
I'm joined by Devin, vocalist from the band of the moment in my eyes, Sanguisugabogg. Have I said that right? I always say it wrong.
Close enough.
Yeah, close. Sanguisugabogg. Right, okay. How's things for you tonight, man?
Pretty good, man. It's still early here, so
Yeah.
enjoying the daylight.
Where in the world are you? At home? Where's home for you?
Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, nice. That's not where the Hall of Fame. That's not the Hall of Fame, is it? There, is it?
No, the Hall of Fame is in
Canton.
Canton.
That's right.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours north.
Right, got you, got you. So how's summer been for you so far? Obviously, we're coming to the end of it. It feels strange that the darker months are approaching us. The NFL season will be here, which definitely feels like it's autumn. So, how's the summer been?
Yeah, summer's been good, other than the excruciating heat, but definitely had a pretty full summer. Me and my wife, we went to Portugal for 8 days and
Beautiful.
had our honeymoon. And
Oh,
then
well, congratulations. Are you newly married
thank
then?
you. Yeah, I got married back in April.
Amazing. What made you choose Portugal?
I have two friends that live in Porto, and they,
It's a
they
great city. It's a great city.
oh yeah, I loved it over there, and they really just hyped it up, and I got to see pictures and everything. And I've been to Spain a few times, touring, and it was just kind of like, where do we want to go? I want to take my wife out of the country because she's never been,
Nice.
and it just seemed like that was like the dream spot for what we wanted to do. We went to the Lavello, which is like the library that
Oh, it's
the Harry
amazing. Yeah,
Potter
it's amazing.
library.
I've been in there. It's mad. You have to queue up to
Yeah,
get into it, right?
exactly.
Yeah, I've
And
done it.
then went to all the sanctuaries and stuff there, and they had like the catacombs and like all the skeletal remains, and
Yeah, it's wicked.
found a couple like graves of like saints and stuff over there too. So it's pretty,
It's great
like
history, man. Great
yeah,
history.
the cathedral and the art form, like that is used in Catholicism. It's just brutal in
Yeah,
its own way,
it is
you
brutal.
know.
It is brutal. It is brutal. Well, nice one, mate. Well, obviously, thanks for joining me. I'm getting to talk about some new music because obviously, you've great news is that you've got your third album, Hideous Aftermath, is
Mhm.
dropping on the 10th of October, which is not far away now, really. You've had a couple of singles released already. Does the reaction to the music always surprise you? Because I've read some great stuff, and I'm sure you have.
Yeah. I mean, it's been cool. Like this is the first record that we didn't record ourselves. So,
Okay.
we actually had an extra ear, like in with us, and um our reception of it, we were just like surprising ourselves like during the recordings and everything. So now to finally tease it out there for all the fans and new fans, it's been a hell of a response. Very, very stoked on the reception that we're getting on it.
How good was it to have that extra ear, to have a team behind you in a way? Was it completely different? Is that how you've kind of evolved now, you feel?
Yeah, I think it's helped us a lot because I mean we've already like, primarily he was just a, engineer. He wanted to make it sound the way that we wanted it to be broadcasted, and but it was cool to have somebody that we very like well respect, in the music industry, be there and kind of reassure that everything is like cool, and it's
Yeah.
like it's like what we're believing is like actually true because we have someone else on the outside like
Yeah.
agreeing with us.
And did that really bring came full circle for you? Was he involved obviously from the recording side, but what about the writing side? How do you feel like you're evolving from, say, your last album?
Yeah, I mean, I think, those 2 years in between
Mm.
from the last record and us touring more and, more music coming out and us like listening to more music together, we kind of like gravitated on what like, what we like uh as a whole team, and a lot of things that we have in common is we brought so forth this like more kind of melodic like aspect into our music,
Yeah.
and it's like little snippets of it,
Yeah, I
and
can tell.
I think that goes into play with like, um some of the records that we listened to together as a band, like Terra Incognita by Gojira, and
Hmm.
Remissions era like Macedon, and
Yeah.
uh, um, then like just other records that we kind of like pulled a lot of influence from. And it was cool to kind of like add that certain element and not pigeonhole us, because we don't want to just write the same record over and over again. We want there to be like, this is us, but this is a like you said, an evolution
Mm.
of what Sanguisugabogg is.
Awesome. Now, obviously, getting an engineer in and touring a shit ton like you do. At what point have you noticed that you've stepped up a notch? Is it palpable within the band that you've gone to that extra bass now, that next bass?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just see it, firsthand, especially still living in the town that, the band started in. I got people coming up to me like at the gym or at shows, because I still go to local shows like all the time. People saying like, "Hey, I'm a fan. I saw you guys at this festival," and like we've been put on bills with like bands that we would have never thought some kind of death metal band would be playing with. Like
Like who?
we played two festivals with Metallica. I mean, we played a fest in Prague with like Avril Lavigne and Sum 41.
Yeah.
Weird,
Yeah.
but like you just have that whole like big melting pot of people that like all kinds of different stuff. So it worked in its own. And the festival here in our city, Sonic Temple, that's really big. It's like 5 minutes from
Yeah.
my house.
Yeah.
So
I know.
I played there, and I anytime I'm at the gym or somewhere, I have someone coming up to me and they're like, "Hey man, like I saw you guys at Sonic Temple," and I'm just like, "Oh wow!" Like you don't realize like for the 25 minutes you're on stage, but
Yeah.
that time that you spent there like really had an impact
That's
and
so cool. Yeah, it's really
helps
cool.
grow the name.
That's so cool. Now, obviously, you're the lyric guy, right?
I am, yeah, yeah. I write the
So
lyrics.
I know your tongue's firmly in cheek with these lyrics, right? Obviously, off the time.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's a lot of horror influences. There's so much going on. Do you ever get to a point where you've written something and said, "Nah, that's a little bit too far"? Or I suppose with tracks like erotic beheading, that probably doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I want to kind of go like, well, that's the thing too, is like some people will, get offended by like lyrics and things of that nature because they are violent and like misanthropic horror themes. But it comes from a place of like complete fantasy, and not like fantasy as like I wish it would happen,
No,
but
sure.
fantasy
Yeah.
as it would like never happen ever.
Like,
So
like, like, like you'd watch a horror film kind of thing.
yeah. And yeah, I think that just goes it goes hand in hand with like being a horror fanatic, loving horror movies, loving horror literature, and just trying to go above and beyond and push the envelope. And like all the bands I liked, when I was getting into this music, were bands that went pretty far out there, with their lyrics.
Yeah. Do you have to get into a special place to start doing the lyrics, or do they just come to you naturally and you just write them down when you grocery shopping or at the gym or something?
Yeah, yeah, I've noticed like, it's in its own way, like I get overly caffeinated. So it's
Right.
basically like I'm pumped through with like amphetamines in a
Yeah.
way, because I'm just downing energy drinks, and then I'm like, I put myself in this mindset where like I'm not leaving my workspace until I get like one or two or three songs done. So I have to like force myself into that like writing space, and sometimes it's weird, like I do challenges with myself. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna eat until I write three full songs.
Would you do
Or
that
I'm
about,
not
would you, with the size of your arms, would you say the gym as well? I'm not going to go to the gym until I've written this song or something. You wouldn't do that, would you?
No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
that's
step too
torture.
far.
Yeah. But no, like I'll just put myself in that headspace, and I'll watch movies, or a television series. One series in particular that I watched while recording this record, and it ended up I wrote a song kind of like loosely based on an episode, but I watched Oz
Okay.
from HBO.
Yeah,
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 so there's a song called Semi-Automatic Facial Reconstruction,
yeah.
and it's loosely based on an episode of Oz.
Awesome. Wow, you
Yeah.
blew me away with that one. I didn't expect that one. So just moving on a bit, like give me a bit of historics for the band. You know, I know obviously you might have said this many times, but you've never told me. So tell me a little brief history about the band. Obviously, you're all from Ohio, I believe. So how did you all get together? Was it a high school thing? Was it just meeting through circles? How was it?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just the, local music scene. That's how we've all became friends. Like in the beginning of the band, three of us lived in Columbus,
Right.
and it was me, Steph, our original bassist, and then Cameron. And Cameron had already been with Cody working on an EP, and was sending me stuff like pretty early on. I played in two other bands like while this was going on, and I was booking shows, booking basically all the death metal shows in Columbus.
Right.
And that was at a time like no one cared about death metal in this town. But yeah, like I fell in love with the music and was just like, hey man, like if you need a voice on this, like I'd love to help you guys out. I feel like this is like right in my wheelhouse. And
Mm.
that became the EP, and that our first ever EP that we put out was literally us getting together for a weekend, flushing all these songs out.
Mm.
And then from there, it just, things kind of clicked. You kind of like when you struck gold in a way, like you kind of feel it like right from the beginning. And there's just something in the pit of my stomach that I was just like, man, this might have some kind of impact. And then sure as hell. And then did a few tours, and then COVID happened. And,
Mm.
within the midst of COVID, like we had two lineup changes, and
Yeah.
that's how we got the lineup that we currently have. And
How
thank
affect
God it
how much
stuck.
of an impact did that have on you? Because obviously Cameron was the name came from him effectively, didn't it? And he was quite
Mhm.
heavily influenced in the band. So how did that change the dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, it changed in a few different ways. Like with Cameron, he looked at the band as if it was like a baby of his at one point, and then like I on the record but off the record, it was basically like a Yoko Ono
Right.
type of moment. So some people have their head up their girlfriend's butt so far they can't see. So
Okay. Is that the reason why
kind of
that happened then? Was it that?
partially it did become a reason why he didn't uh jam with us for like 7 months.
Right. Okay.
And we're announcing tours, and then it seems like it's not something that he was really excited about.
Mm. Okay.
And then we got a text that said basically like a whole book, basically like how he doesn't feel like he wants to do this anymore, and basically just saying like, I'm gonna step down, but if you guys decide to continue, that's on you. And it's just like, man, the world's opening back up, and
Mm.
we have so much cool stuff like ahead. Like why not take that opportunity just because this person doesn't want to? If we decided to not do it, it just shafts like all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what sucks is like, you got to kind of ask yourself like, man, like if I wasn't in a band with him, like would I been friends with him? And like for those 7 months that he kind of like went back on us, like I if I wasn't doing a business or a band with him, like I would have probably left him in the dust too, because it's like,
Right.
what, you're not even answering my calls or anything like that. So,
Get you. Get you.
and then, it became like, moving forward, we want to make the band like a collaborative thing, and we want to make sure that it's fair and everything is transparent. It's
Yeah.
like like we all have an equal cut of, the pie. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm responsible for 25% of this band, Cody's responsible for the other, Drew and Seth are responsible for their 25%.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is moving forward. And I feel like that's how we've been able to stay like a tight,
Yeah.
knit group.
Of
And
course.
then when it came to writing, it just became a way more like it felt way more right and comfortable than any previous rendition of the band because like we actually get to jam together instead of just like
Yeah.
showing up like 2 weeks and they're like, hey, I wrote this song, and it's like, whoa,
Got you.
all right, well, now we got to piece it together instead of just like, let's jam
Yeah.
and
Cool.
see what we come up with.
Yeah.
So
Organic.
yeah, became a lot more fun. and
Yeah. 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 Cool.
and touring with them too, it's been a breeze. I like, as excruciating as our touring schedule is, it's even just touring in a van and not a bus, like the cushy, lifestyle. It's still a breeze because, it's fun every day.
Yeah.
Every part of it's
Get
fun.
it.
There's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Do you think the name has drawn a lot of attention in the logo compared to say if you were called something like Gore Truck or something simple? You know what I mean? Like that name
Yeah.
must grab people's attention and go, oh, fuck, I need to check that out. And obviously your social media is so on point as well that you've got
Oh, yeah.
so much material that's it's trending. You must feel that.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I think it's cool because, now it's getting to the point where people are like, man, it's not even that hard to pronounce anymore.
Yeah,
They're so
it's
used
true.
to
Yeah, no, I fucked up at the start, but yeah, it isn't. I don't. It is true.
like it's so used to seeing it and hearing about it. It's pretty cool. And I think the logo, not being symmetrical and
Yeah,
being, it's like, we always said it's like our Nike swoosh.
yeah,
It's something that we've hung our hat on. What's funny is if we ever did like, what Immolation did or Dying Fetus did, where they changed their logo from their original logo to a plain font.
yeah.
It's funny because it's like we got the Rorschach like abstract logo that you can't make sense of, but then if we changed it to a regular text, it's like you're not going to pronounce that anyway.
No,
So
no.
like it makes no sense to do it regardless. And it's just cool. It's like a big eyesore. People that
Yeah,
don't get the music, they always have something to say about it, and it's just like it's been fun to poke fun at it. And like same with like the social media.
yeah.
I feel like social media is, its purpose is to advertise
Of course,
your brand. And I
absolutely.
think what better way of doing that than to um making fun of the world and making fun of yourself, so
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nobody can make fun of me better than me.
yeah, I love
So
that. I love that. Now, what's the craziest thing? Obviously, with all in mind, what's the craziest thing that's been written about the band? Not necessarily true, but has anyone written anything? Journalists or someone that's right winger that's written something that they don't like?
yeah, I mean, you have your metal tabloid sites, like your Lamb Goat, your Metal Sucks. They spend more time talking about like rumors or what's going on behind the scenes
Right.
more than music coming out and stuff. But yeah, there's been times where like I've done something and it's gotten like misconstrued. Like we had a Memphis incident with a promoter that like a guy didn't want to pay us, and it became this whole commotion. And
Right.
at the end of the day, I think he was just like, I don't want to speak for him, but it seemed as if he could have been like pretty inebriated
Ugh.
and made some pretty threats that he was standing on. And I was like, yeah, the world needs to know about this guy. And some news outlets like they took it way out of proportion than what I actually said.
Right.
And then I mean it goes so on and so forth. Like there was the brief tiff with Ronnie Radke from Fallen in Reverse between
Right.
me and him, and
Really?
oh yeah, and all that. So at the end of the day, it's like I'm not a I'm not that kind of guy that gets into drama. I really just like I like to make fun of stuff, and
It's
sometimes
all
it
publicity, man. It's all publicity.
yeah yeah
You know what I mean? It's all good shit.
yeah, for sure, for
All good
sure,
shit.
yeah.
Now,
And
there you go, come on, carry on.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, now it's like, man, like I want to avoid that as much as I can, but I will say, like, doing that and tapping into it has, in a weird way, built the band up in some kind of way.
Yeah. Now, I feel that you're at the forefront of the modern death metal, right now, right? And does that come with any potential pressures on you, or do you not really see yourself in that position?
Um, as far as I appreciate that. As far as the modern death metal newer bands, I do think that yeah, we're the ones that been staying pretty busy and consistent, and that's always been it's always been a goal, man.
Yeah.
I look at band because as much as we are like musicians in a band, we're fans of the music
Yeah, that's important.
and fans of death metal. And look at bands like Cannibal Corpse and Death and Suffocation and Morbid Angel, and it was like every year or two they were pumping out records. Like it
Mm-mm.
didn't stop.
Mm-mm.
And back then, like that was your way of making sure like no one forgot about you.
Yeah.
Like that's how you stayed in everyone's mind and on the tip of their tongue. So it's like nowadays it's like you have so many more resources than just putting out music. There's content you could put out. There's all kinds of stuff. Like yeah, we're pretty lucky, with how accessible things are. We have computers that we put in our pockets like all the time. So
Yeah, sure.
um yeah, like one little dumb post that I slap our logo on could just make a couple people remember that we're
Yeah.
still around. Like
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now, obviously,
yeah.
you've got a couple of big tours coming. You got this tour in the States. You go coming over to Europe in the springtime.
Mhm.
How important are shows to the band? Do you prefer the studio or are you more a stage guy?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'd say we're all more of the stage type of people, just because like not only is like that's where get to showcase everything that's coming out, everything that you're about. You do make more money in the long run just touring all the time,
Of
which
course.
is sick. But I mean, it's the fun part, like
Mm.
you drive for anywhere between 6 to 10 hours. You take your million piss breaks on the way, and then you get on stage for a half hour and rock the place and give it your all, and then you go back and meet people while they're buying
That's
t-shirts and take pictures. It's the
and
coolest thing
that's
in the world.
and that's important to you as a band, isn't it? Being in touch with your fans.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without fans, like fans are what keep death metal alive,
Yeah, exactly,
so
exactly.
if there weren't people supporting it, this music would have died, years ago when
Mhm.
grunge was the popular thing, or
Yeah.
like, it would have been swept under. And I think, it's really important. I try to talk to as many people as I can, and then meet people. Another thing I really like to do, started doing it last year, but it's like, I put on my Instagram, like, hey, like, I'll be in this town if you want to go to if you want to, I'd like to go to your gym. You want to pick me up
That's
and
sound.
hang out, get a workout in, and then,
That's
come
awesome.
back to the show. Let's hang out, so
That's cool, man. That's cool. If you come to
Yeah,
Barcelona, mate, I'll come to my gym anytime.
that'd be sick. Yeah, because like I see bands like they pay for like they charge people for like meet and greets
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff like that, and like whatever, man. Like it, that is cool. Like I mean, if hell, dude, if Judas Priest like had a cool meet and greet package that I could afford, I'd
Yeah,
probably pay for
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah, but us on the other hand, it's just like, man, it's like you
Ah,
see us around, take a picture with us,
that's
we'll
so
hang out
cool.
with you.
And it's good, for fans to know that you're accessible as well, because some fans can be a little bit like, yeah, I don't want to make it
Yeah,
embarrassed. I don't want to look up to this band. I don't want to be in a situation where there could be dicks to me and I don't like them anymore. You know?
yeah. I've been there. I've been scared
Yeah,
to talk
I
to
think we
people.
all have. I think
Yeah.
we've all had that at some point. Now, what's a show like for you guys? I've not seen you. I'm hoping to come and catch you in the spring. So, at one of the cities somewhere. I know you're not coming here, but I'll come and find you. So, what's a show like?
I mean, we bring out a basically like a circle pit, mosh pit, atmosphere. There's people have gone wild. Like we get a lot of crowd surfers, and we do a lot of stuff kind of off the cups. Like our last tour, when we got the news out, Ozzy passed, we did like a small like rendition of Sweet Leaf every night, in his honor. And so it's like you never get the same show, when you're seeing us. And then I think what we like to do is like we like to see the crowd and just think how can we make it interactive for everybody so everyone's a part of it. Like
Nice.
if I don't see a lot of people moving, I'm like, all right, well, let's kill the house lights and let's get everyone to pull their phones out and shine a light on us, and
Yeah,
or let's do this and
that's nice.
let's
Love
do
that.
stage dives. We do you'll appreciate this one being a football fan, but we do this game where we throw a football out in the pit, and
That's
whoever
cool.
holds on to it at the end of a song, they can take it over to our merch booth and trade it in for free merch.
I love that.
So
That's so
yeah.
cool. That's so cool. I love that. I love that a lot. So obviously, you're a hench guy. You love the gym. We've mentioned that. How
Mhm.
on these extensive runs that you do, we all know that the road can be difficult. I've toured for many weeks myself. I know what it's like. You fall into bad habits. How do you focus, or do you not? How do you keep ahead of that? Obviously, you've mentioned the gym thing, but food, anything else? Oh, you might not drink. How do you handle it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't drink. I also have a an app, where I can fit my macros and everything in. So it's
Nice.
like, if I'm bulking, depending on what stage I am in a bulk, like I'll get my 360 grams of carbs, 200 to 250 grams of protein, try to stay in a calorie deficit
Yeah.
between 3 to 3,600 calories a day.
Wow.
And then I'm logging everything in. Our last tour, we took like a camper, which had a refrigerator.
Right.
So that made things a lot easier. It had like a stove and everything too. So I was, preparing meals. I had a rice cooker.
I bet
So
the other guys, are they gym goers or not? Are they not into that?
our other guitar player, Cedric, is, yeah, he's like a powerlifting
Oh,
type of
right.
guy.
Okay.
So
Okay. Wow. So that helps with you in the whole, you're not like on your own doing this.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of the time I do my own thing. It was actually Trey from Dying Fetus. He put it in a big perspective for me. It's like, when you're in a town that you're not from, yeah, and you have all of this downtime, he's like, the best thing you could do is do your hobby while you're on the road, or act like a tourist and go to different shops, go to
Yeah.
record stores, find a museum, do things of that nature. So, it's like after we load in and do our sound check, there's really nothing needed of me until I have to be on stage. So like
Yeah.
on that downtime, I'm at the gym, or there's been times where I'm at a place where there isn't a gym within driving distance. And it's like all right, I'll go to a museum, or I'll walk around, I'll find a restaurant,
Yeah.
things of that nature. It's made touring a lot more enjoyable,
Sure.
from then on.
Sure. What's the funniest thing to happen on the road to you guys? You've done a shitload of shows, hundreds and hundreds. What's the funniest thing? Just the top of the, just quick story.
Funniest thing. I mean, there's been so much, but like something I like to do is like I like to poke fun at the crowd a little bit, get them all riled up. And I remember we were in Florida, and there was this kid that came up. I don't know why he did it, but he came up on stage to just tell us, he's like, "All right, man, I'm leaving," like that. And I'm like, "Oh, you're leaving?" Like, like we got like four more songs left, and he's like giving everyone hugs, and it was just so out of nowhere, like, and so then we're like, all right, man, like say goodbye to the guy. We go goodbye to this guy, and everyone's telling him bye. And then just immediately I go, now boo that man. And they're like, boo, and like really getting on him about it. And that was a pretty that was a pretty funny moment.
Strange moment.
Yeah, yeah. There's probably a lot of other, tour stories I could talk about, like our times
Oh yeah,
in
sure.
Germany, or like or the times that we've been to raves and stuff in France that
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't talk
No, no,
about,
we'll
but
leave it off that. We'll leave that. We'll leave that. Now I've got some fun questions for you. You think you can handle them?
for sure.
Okay. What's one thing everyone should try at least once?
Uh, hmm, everyone should try it. I think everyone should. I think everyone should try a sport at least once in their life.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know?
good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
If you can know the truth to one question, what would the question be?
Where are the Epstein files?
Yeah, I like that. I like that one. That goes to me. That goes to me. I mean, obviously, it's very tumultuous in the States at the moment. Now, obviously, do you feel like your music's come out? Is it a good time for some people to just like fuck it off and just get into it because there's so much going on? The world is watching.
Mhm.
I was in the States twice this year in LA and Miami. I was at the NAM show.
Oh, yeah.
How palpable is it right now in the States? This feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of compare it to, our world's getting like Reaganized, like it's
Mhm.
he's kind of close to being like the second coming of Ronald Reagan in a way, to where like
Yeah.
pulling government funding,
Yeah.
left and right, and
Oh, no.
there's a lot more focus on censorship,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
now, and
yeah, yeah,
and during that time, that was like the booming part of death metal and
yeah.
grindcore. You had bands like Napalm Death,
Well,
Obituary,
of
and
course. I mean,
Cannibal
if you
Corpse.
think of the band Oasis, who've just started a North American tour, they've come back round. We love them or hate them.
Hmm.
They've been told by American authorities to watch their mouths.
Yeah,
I mean, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Does that
yeah. I mean,
do you feel that as a musician, an artist, and a creative person? Does that make you just
Mhm.
want to go even further, or does it make you go, "Oh, we've got to be a little bit careful"?
I like to push buttons. So it's like, especially I hear it a lot, and it's all in good fun. Like I don't I don't go arm swilling, like talking about what I believe in is right, because
Mm.
I know everyone's different. I know it could offend a lot of people, and but I hold myself to a good moral standard, and I think that, like,
Yeah.
I think censorship is stupid. I think, making poor people even poorer is even more stupid. And like, there's a lot of stuff that, like, I like to pick and, argue about. Like, we were in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is, it's like Mormon
Mormons, yeah, of
capital of the world.
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I shut like I'm like kind of making fun of people for polygamous marriages and like
Yeah,
sister wives and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like, I didn't know, because you're like, it's death metal, like it should be, you know it's for a certain group of people that you think majority are like, they like to make fun of that stuff. And
Yeah.
I pissed a lot of people off. I'm
Good.
just like, whoa. Yeah, yeah. So,
Right, I'll do the same. And I'm not in a death metal band. Okay, moving on. What was your autobiography be called?
um, my autobiography. That's a good one. Short and stout and to the point.
Classic.
There you go.
I'd read that, mate, just based on the book, based on the front cover and the title. Now, you should be able to answer this next question quite easily with your love of horror. But what would your perfect murder weapon be?
Probably a mace.
Yeah, you could do that because a lot of people couldn't actually spin that thing
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
It'd be a good one. That do some damage. Okay, if you could steal credit for one piece of art, music, album, book, what would you steal to say you did it?
Far Beyond Driven by Pantera.
Classic.
Take
If you,
credit for that.
yeah, exactly. If you could have any superpower, what would the power be and why?
I asked my friend this question. His answer was crazy. Uh, Probably the ability to jump through portals into anywhere, anywhere like on Earth or in
Yeah,
space.
saves the flights, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
If you could choose one track to play every time you enter a room for the rest of your life, what track would it be?
Um, it's I can't remember the song title. It's by Pharaoh Monarch. It's it has like the Godzilla theme song,
Oh, really?
probably.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
bum 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 bum. Yeah, that.
We're coming to the end now. I've got a few left. What's your most unpopular musical opinion?
Um, it's a good one. Oh, okay. Grunge. As much I love grunge, so to put that on record. But grunge, when it came out, that was almost the death of like all of the guitar heroes, like all the shredding guitars, and it made not being that like versatile in guitars popular. It
Mhm.
was like everyone wanted to pick up a guitar after that.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay, I got you. Okay, should non-metalheads wear metal shirts?
Um, I'm like Switzerland on that. I mean, it's like half and
Okay.
half because it's like
Fence sitter.
I'm a fence sitter because if you it depends on like the band personally because it's like if you're gonna wear a Metallica Kill 'Em All shirt and I could tell it's not like a shirt that you got from a tour
Yeah, 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 yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. Like I get it. They're that popular. I mean, everyone wears the Misfits logo,
Yeah,
so like
true.
I get it. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, like when I do see Kim Kardashian wearing a Covenant Morbid Angel shirt, I'm like, that's kind of cool, So, but at the same time, it's like
Kanye West wearing a Burzum t-shirt. It's like,
I he he does like Burzum actually
yeah, no
does
shit.
like them. Yeah, I think he sampled something off I can't even remember. I don't
Yeah,
listen to Burzum, but
yeah.
I know he sampled a Burzum like track on one of the songs. So
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but yeah,
I've got this guy because this guy is part of my next question.
uh,
Corpse Grinder does some lovely things. You obviously know him. He does some lovely things with him getting his claw things and getting the animals and shit, the toy animals and stuff, and giving them to children and stuff like that. What do you do to break away from music as a frontman that's lovely, Devin?
um, yeah,
Shockers.
quite a bit.
What do you do?
Yeah, I donate I donate to a Down syndrome foundation here in Columbus,
Cool.
which helps like educate people about
Nice.
like trisomy and everything.
Yeah.
I do also there's been benefit shows that I've booked that have helped like facilities and shelters that help people and like situations of like domestic violence and stuff like that. Like basically like
Amazing.
like rescue shelters for people. And yeah, we also, me and my wife are currently feeding five stray cats that
Wow.
are outside of our
You
apartment.
like the TARDIS from Obituary with his cat thing he's got going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which would is it Trevor? That
I'm
sounds
not.
like something he would do.
I think it is actually. I had him on the show many years ago, and we discussed his old cat thing. He goes out and feeds cats randomly in Florida
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
Anyway,
We just talked to the vet now. Like we want to see if we could check them for like parasites and stuff and maybe house them
nice,
pretty soon.
fantastic, man. You got a big heart. I love that. Now, obviously, this is your cheat day I'm talking about now. But what would your death row meal be? Because it doesn't matter about the next day, mate. You're gonna die. So what are you going for? Okay, or
Probably
maybe
inside.
what's your cheat meal? I don't know. It's like the same thing.
Yeah. If I'm just like looking at calories, it depends. You know, if I'm really prepped up and I could get away with eating sugar, uh, it'll be it'll be pints of ice cream and like chocolate chip cookies.
Really?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about a
Just to get the
savory?
calories.
What about the salt? What do you need? What do you go for? Pizza or something heavy?
Probably burgers over pizza for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's slightly healthy. It's not too bad. So, what one Sanguisugabogg track sums the band up the best, in your opinion? If an alien came down and says, "What do you do?" What track would you play them first?
Uh, it's like an iffy one. There's it'd probably be a toss up between Dragged by a Truck and
Classic.
necrosexual deviant. I think the balance in that song is kind of showcases what we're all about.
I'll choose which one to play next. Right. This is a controversial one. Who has the best metal, EU or US,
Mm.
and why?
If we're talking the history, like classic metal and so forth, EU
But if you
for
talk
sure.
metal, you're going to go US.
I'm gonna go US. Primarily, I'm gonna go East Coast, like
Yeah.
US too.
Yeah. Yeah. Another
But
slight Swiss answer, but well, I'll take it, mate. Don't worry.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, what's on the bucket list for the band? You know, you've done so much so far. What do you feel like you still need to do to achieve? What do you want to do? What's next on the horizon that you feel like, oh my God, we've done that?
Um, I mean, touring with a legacy band, that like that the whole world knows. And I can't go into too many details, but we actually just confirmed that tour. So it's
Really?
yeah, so it's yet to be announced, but
For next year?
that yeah, for next year.
Awesome. That's really good news, man. Look forward to seeing what's going to come of that. Finally, what is your most used emoji in your phone?
The smiling devil.
Yeah, classic. Listen, Devin, thank you so much for a great chat. I really appreciate it, man. I'm stoked to get you on the show, and good luck with the album and the tours. I'm hoping to catch you in Europe in the spring sometime.
Oh yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me, man.